Okay, hey guys, what's up? Evilzombie here. I'm also recording a backup camera just in case anything happens to this video, but hey, what I want to do today is a popular thing I've been seeing recently, a top 9. So I just went through my collection and picked out some videos I think, or not videos, video games that I think pretty much shaped a lot of how I do things. Shaped a lot of how my life is, and yes, I know there's 10 here, it's not 9. I know I had a hard time picking a couple of them. I was debating between a couple. But I kind of wanted to go over a couple of these because these are games that I grew up playing and I had a lot of fun playing, and they're a big part of my life. And they some of them probably shaped how I look at puzzles, how I look at different things, how I look at situations, and just how I interact with people overall, or just the things I enjoy. Some of them shape my hobbies, and yeah, this is basically me. So of course, first you're gonna. Oh yeah, okay, you can see me. First, of course, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. It's not the oldest one on the list, of course. That's Donkey Kong Country 2. But this, I ranked as probably one of the most important ones. Definitely because it's just a great game. There's like nothing wrong with this game. It's a really good game. I pretty much just loved everything about it. The storyline, it was engaging, it grasped me, and I loved roaming around the world and just messing around and just having a good time. There was just so much that could be said about this, and I had a great time every time I played this game. Like, I still have a good time playing this game, and I have no issues just roaming around the fields, killing things randomly, and then going on all the side quests, just delving into the world and having a great time. That was one of the best things about it, and it still stands pretty true today. The game still holds very true to that, and I'm happy I got the opportunity to be part of the generation that was old enough to play this game and remember it and conquer it when it came out. So, yay, because the N64 is awesome and it's indestructible. Mine is still good. Yeah, next one on the list, definitely. Oh yeah, I love the puzzles and all that. The combat was great. The music was so good. You can play any song in the game and I'll instantly know where it is. So Donkey Kong Country 2. I love this game. For Christmas one year, my parents got me Super Nintendo, much like same with N64 for Christmas one year. Um, that was a big thing. I grew up in a desert. I have an older sister who doesn't play video games. I have two other older sisters who already were long gone and moved out by that time, and I grew up in the middle of nowhere, literally 45 miles away from the nearest town. We didn't even have a working gas station in our town. Nothing. Nobody came over to play games. It was pretty quiet. So even though this had two player, I mostly just did it one player, but it was a lot of fun. This was a game that demanded perfection, demanded lots of time, and lots of just delving into it, and being able to just continue going over again, over again, over again, replaying the levels over and over again until you can master it and then eventually conquer it. And I 100%ed that sucker. But yeah, oh man, when the game came out, I must have been like, wow, like 6 or 7, something like that. And I played it a lot. I played this game for years. I still have my original copy of it over there. And it's one of the best games ever made, in my opinion. I love the music, the tunes to it. I used to read through the manual. I love the pictures, and it was just a lot of fun. It's probably one of the most well done and most tightly balanced um, platformer games ever made. I mean, Rare basically put Mario to shame with Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. They absolutely put Mario to shame with these because they were so perfect. You had to measure everything just right. You had to do it at the right speed. You had to do the jumps at the right height. If you didn't, you were just gonna fall to your death. And that was half the fun of it. And we just kind of delved into the game and had a blast. I loved it, and I still love that game. My daughter actually enjoys the game now too, and I got to pass on all my knowledge every time she gets stuck somewhere. I'm like, you don't have to suffer. I've mastered this game. So I'll just jump in. I'll be like, hey, okay, jump over that, and there's gonna be a thing over there that you don't see. I love it. I love this game. It's so good. Donkey Kong Country is great. I don't know if you can see my mouse in the recording. Oh, you can. I'm actually using like the Logi capture software for the first time ever. I've never tried it before. Logitech apparently has a pretty good webcam software, for recording screen or doing screen capture and crap. And yes, I know I have the basic picture app open in Microsoft. Shut up. I did a collage and I just kind of made it. Okay. Ow. Ow. Okay, Resident Evil. I know it's not the original Resident Evil, but it's the best version of Resident Evil. This one blew my mind when it came out. I mean, Smash Brothers Melee was probably the most beautiful game that existed at the time of this release, and the pre-rendered backgrounds just blew everybody away. The game looks amazing. Even nowadays, the game looks still amazing, and it's fantastic, and it runs on such an old piece of hardware. And we're talking, what, back in like 2001 or something? 2000, 2001, something like that. I don't know. I think I was in middle school, something like that when it came out, and it was just so beautiful, and the graphics were great. I was going into high school, exiting middle school, going to high school, something like that. But the violence was amazing. The acting was a little bit better. They kept a little bit of the cheesiness, and I loved it. I was a big fan of all the Romero movies. In front of me, I have the giant movie-sized posters of Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, and the other Dawn of the Dead. And I respect those movies. I love George Romero movies. I know the other Dawn of the Dead isn't George Romero, but I like the movie anyways. But Resident Evil, I played it over and over and over again and eventually unlocked everything. I got the rocket launcher, completed my file. I have conquered that game. I love it. It's one of the best games ever made in my opinion, and I stand by that all the way till when I die. Sorry, I had to check the time. Moving on to the next one. Sonic 3. Oh yeah, and Resident Evil also, well, the color puzzles were a little evil. I'm colorblind. That's not really friendly for me. That was a guessing game for me. That was mostly figure out how to do it, look up a guide. Tired. Very tired. But yeah, that was the only real downside I had, but the puzzle solving skills I learned from Zelda helped me. I guess I just did it until I figured it out and I loved it. Now I just kind of memorized it, so I just run through the game. Still fun. Still so much fun. Okay, Sonic and Knuckles. My cousin had this. I've never actually owned... I have a Sega Dreamcast now, but I didn't grow up with any Sega consoles. My cousin had them. I had Nintendo consoles, he had Sega consoles, and we played in each other's systems. It was great. So basically we each had twice the games, right? So Sonic and Knuckles, that was actually the first Sonic game I think I ever played. I played that before I played Sonic 1 and 2. Like, to me, I went back to Sonic 1, I was like, wow, this is a huge downgrade compared to what I just played. But it was still fun. I still had a good time with it. Like, I was confused by all the different attachments he had for the Sega Genesis, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't just plug directly into the console, because he had a different... Like, I kept on thinking of it like a Game Shark, almost. But he had the attachment for adding Knuckles into the Sonic 3, and it was cool. And then he also had a Sega CD, I think. And that just confused me even more. I was a kid at the time. I was a little kid. And seeing the game, it was so fast. It was so brutal. I was like, wow, this just blows my mind. It was very, very much so. How hard can I go in this game? How much can I just blast through it? And it just became simple fun. I loved it. The music really stuck with me. I mean, that's music I will still work out to this day. I mean, sometimes if we're running in the gym, I'm working out in my home gym, my daughter's running on a treadmill, I'll turn on some Sonic music. It's fun. She likes Sonic. She's been playing Sonic. She started on Sonic CD when she was 2 years old. And I just kind of handed her my iPod Touch, and she would just play that, and she got hooked on Sonic the Hedgehog from a young age. It's fun. Sonic's awesome. Okay, Unreal Tournament. This one was probably influenced my life more than anything else. This basically made me competitive. In games. This made me more competitive than anything else. I love this game so much. I played bot fights over and over and over and over again to get as good as I can until... and basically the bots in this game, their accuracy is based on percentage. I've just realized that my phone, that's the backup camera, really doesn't like my hand up. it adjusts the whole zoom every time. It's going to bug me. I might just stick with the regular video for my webcam. But basically, the accuracy of the enemies in Unreal Tournament 2004 is based on percentage. By the time you get to Godlike, they will hit you. They see you, they hit you. If you're in their view box within I think it's like 120-degree range. If you're in their viewpoint, they will hit you. If you have Insta-Gib on, it's an instant kill. And that's how I played. I played it against 32. I had a room set up with 32 bots on Godlike, and I would just do Twitch fighting on it because I had a special mouse. Well, it was the cheapest mouse you could find, but it's an official Logitech one. It had like the big old wireless dongle, and it had a very high DPI, and it was shockingly accurate, and it actually had a really good response time. And it was almost not fair. This mouse was just the best thing ever. It was a small mouse. It was easy to put on any surface, and I could just do Twitch shots. So I'd move slightly and then click, and I just kind of would hit the things as my view moved past them, and I would jump, dodge. There was a lot of jumping, money hopping. I loved that game so much. I played it a lot. I still play it a little bit, honestly. I play it more than the newer Unreal Tournament games, honestly. Probably not a good thing. I mean, that they haven't beaten the quality and just the sheer fun factor of 2004. It's so good. Okay, Doom 3. Moving on, Doom 3. This actually was the first game that I built a computer myself for. When that was about to come out, I did not have a computer that could handle it. I didn't have an Xbox, didn't have anything that would handle the game. I love Doom. I played the original Dooms, and I wanted to play this because it looked grisly, it looked gruesome, it looked frightening. And it just looked so much fun. My cousin was telling me that he just got the game and it was just brutal. It was terrifying and he loved it. And I was like, dude, I gotta try this. So I saved up some money. I was in high school. That was back in like 2003. Yeah, I was in high school. So I saved up my money. I built an AMD machine. I took basically a case of one of my old rigs and I just replaced everything inside it. I don't remember what video card I had. It's a little disappointing. It might have been the FX 5200 GeForce card. It might have been. And I had... No, 5200. The X2 5200 was my processor. Was it 5600? There's a lot of numbers. There's a lot of numbers. Processors are a pain to remember after like 20 years. Or 18 years, whatever. But the game was great. It blew my mind, and it beat all expectations that I had at the time. Nothing came close to the quality of Doom 3, and that's exactly what I was trying to build a computer to play, because I knew if it could play Doom 3 on the highest settings, at least the highest settings my monitor would allow. I couldn't go the full resolution. I did not have a CRT monitor that big. But if I could get all the settings of my resolution maxed out, it would handle anything else I would throw at it for a couple of years at least. Handled Half-Life 2 for sure. It handled that. No problem. Yeah, but Doom 3 was better, of course, just because it's so beautiful, and it's so violent, and it's so bloody, and I love it. And the dark corridors, the things jumping out at you, it was like you were in the horror movie, and you were the hero. You felt like it. It was so good. And the bosses. I mean, the bosses. No, I love all the violence, and it was so much fun. And when we could mod it, oh, it was so good. The mods don't work in the BFG version, I don't think. But, hey, I played the original version. It was so good. I still have my box for that, actually, and I also have it in Steam. Okay, moving on. Typing of the Dead. This is why I can type at 86 words a minute. This is why I can type that fast without errors. I know this because I went to a job place down the street from where I am that will actually give you a certificate saying like how fast you can type and that you were tested properly and all that. I can type 86 words a minute thanks to Typing of the Dead. It's so good. I love that game. It's one of the best games of all time, and it's the best educational game ever. I mean, my daughter's not quite old enough for it yet. She doesn't like zombies as much as I do. But this is how I plan to help her typing speed once she has mastered the keys, which she's working on. She's already passed Mario Teaches Typing. Now I'm teaching my little one based on Mario Teaches Typing. And my older one will move on to Typing of the Dead soon. Because nothing teaches you how to type better than zombies running at your face, and you want to kill them as fast as you can with your magical shooting keyboard. Okay, moving on. And I love that game so much. It's so good. I have it on my Dreamcast and on the PC. So I still have it on my Dreamcast. It works fine. Okay, moving on. Godzilla, destroy all monsters, melee. I played this game far more than anyone ever should. I love this game. I play it so much. My kids are sick of it. I love this game. I still play it. I have Godzilla Unleashed, and the controls in that are rubbish compared to Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee. That was when they perfected the formula. It's like the Smash Brothers Melee of the Smash franchise. That's what Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee is of the entire Godzilla franchise. If there are more than one player involved in the game, this is the best game in the series, even though there's not very many monsters. The gameplay mechanics were just tight. It was perfect. And the controls felt nice. They felt good. And monsters felt weighty. They felt strong and heavy. When you destroyed something, it felt like you were destroying a city. It felt heavy. And that's exactly what you want. The monsters were not just fast running around. They felt heavy, like heavy-weighted monsters, and it was great. One of the best. And the acting. Oh, the acting is so good. It's so bad. It's so good. The storyline is so bad, but I love it. They really are making fun of the Showa era back in the 60s even. It feels a lot like Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. The entire story kind of feels like that. Also, Godzilla vs. Monster Zero kind of feels like that too. But it's so good. You guys got to check that one out. And the last one. This one, I kept on going between Mega Man Battle Network and DDR. I love DDR Supernova more than any of them, but any of the Dance Dance Revolution machines after Max and after are the best things ever. I love Max, Max 2, Supernova, Supernova 2. There's just a bunch of good ones after that, but this is one of the Supernova one is probably my favorite. It has my favorite mix of songs, and I have really no issues with the game at all. It's great. I started the game back in 2006, a long time ago. I'd never played DDR before. I started by falling off the pad. Like, I know you have a bar to hold on to. I still fell off that pad. I was bad. I was terrible at this game on the easiest setting, and now I have been able to do max 300 with no bar. So on the heavy setting, the high settings. So there you go. That tells you anything. How much I've played this game. I love it. And then now I have Step Mania, of course, and behind me, I don't know if you can see it on either video. Oh yeah, on the webcam. You can see my metal DDR pad behind me. I have a Cobalt Flex pad. I got it before the company shut down. And my kids can play DDR. My daughter's actually on level 7 difficulty songs, so she's in the standard level difficulty. Some songs she's done on heavy. Not bad, right? I mean, she's going to be 12 in wow, I'm old. She's going to be 12 in a month. I'm so old. Oh my goodness, my kid is in middle school. I'm old. But hey, I have cool games. So she doesn't really ever have to worry about buying them and collecting them because I already got them all. And the DDR, she's doing good with it. And I have someone to play with now, which is cool. I'd only have one pad. I mean, they're expensive now. But hey, I have someone to play with. We just take turns in every other song, you know? But that's one of the best games of all time because now whenever we see a machine, we can go and play the game together. And that is one of the best bonding things ever as a daughter and dad, you know? My younger one also plays it, but she doesn't look at the screen. She just kind of jumps around and has fun. Which is fine. She's just having fun with the music, and I really can't complain about that at all. But really, these are the games that influenced my life more than any other games I've played before. If I had to settle it in top 10, these are the core ones that really influenced me the most. And I love them. Oh yeah, and Resident Evil also made me just love survival horror so much. I play a lot of survival horror games. I love it. And horror games in general that have that feeling. It's so good. Okay, so those are my top 9. I hope that was a fun video for you guys to watch. Hopefully I can hear some of you guys on what your top games were. Tell me in the comments below what your top 9 games were because I am honestly very curious. I want to hear about it. I want you to tell me why you love certain games more than others. Tell me. I read all the comments. I'll respond to you and everything. So talk to me, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.